When you create Fullmetal Alchemist, one of the greatest anime of all time, everything you do next is doomed to live in its shadow. But Hiromu Arakawa didn't just step out of that shadow, she weaponized it. Demons of the Shadow Realm is the biggest wildcard of the spring 2026 season. Is it a worthy successor to her legendary pedigree, or just another supernatural action show riding on its creator's name? Let's find out. Deep in a remote, peaceful mountain village, a young hunter named Yuru lives a quiet life. His only real concern is protecting his twin sister, Asa, who serves as a confined priestess. It feels like a historical drama right up until heavily armed modern helicopters suddenly rain fire from the sky. The village is slaughtered, and the world Yuru knew is instantly, violently shattered. The biggest twist? The people leading this modern military massacre claim to be rescuing him, and the girl he thought was his sister. She might be an imposter. Yuru is thrust into a hidden, modern-day supernatural war. He bonds with powerful demons to survive, desperate to uncover the truth. It's a brutal, high-stakes game of hide-and-seek between siblings caught in a clash of two very different worlds. The buzz around this show is entirely tied to Hiromu Arakawa's pedigree. And honestly, it shows what makes this adaptation shine is how it handles world building through mystery. Instead of dropping massive lore dumps, the studio lets the world unfold naturally through Yuru's sheer confusion. We are learning the rules of this modern mythological war exactly when he does, which makes the pacing incredibly addictive. This doesn't feel like your standard Battle of the Week shonen. It feels like a gritty, modern myth. The dynamic between the twin siblings carries the emotional weight of the entire series. The studio perfectly captures Arakawa's signature character designs, blending expressive, lighthearted comedy with sudden, visceral, supernatural violence. The demons themselves look genuinely unsettling, bridging the gap between folklore and horror. However, if there's a critique to be made, it's in the musical score. While the animation is fluid and the action choreography hits hard, the soundtrack often fades into the background. It lacks that iconic, unforgettable orchestral punch that elevated Arakawa's previous works into the stratosphere. Still, the narrative hooks are strong enough to keep you glued to the screen. Looking at the hardcore communities on Reddit and Annie Twitter, the biggest PRO is unanimously the writing. Fans are obsessed with how competent Yuru is as a protagonist. He isn't a whiny kid. He's a skilled hunter who adapts quickly to his insane new reality. The community loves the moral gray areas and the fact that you genuinely don't know who the good guys actually are. On the other hand, the biggest con floating around my anime list is the tonal whiplash. Going from a serene, feudal-era village straight into modern-day gunfights and supernatural city brawls is incredibly jarring. Some viewers feel the transition happens a bit too fast, leaving the early episodes feeling slightly disjointed before the story finally finds its footing. Demons of the Shadow Realm proves that Hiromu Arakawa hasn't lost her touch. It's a masterclass in suspenseful world building and sibling drama wrapped in a sleek, violent, supernatural package. While it may not instantly eclipse the towering legacy of Fullmetal Alchemist, it confidently stands on its own 2 feet. If you are tired of predictable power scaling and want a shonen that treats you like an adult, this is a must. It's a compelling, mystery-driven thriller that will leave you desperate for the next episode. Believe the hype, because the Queen of Dark Fantasy has officially returned. Final score, 8.7 out of 10.